Hello. Welcome one and all. Here we are once again, all gathered around the old, the warmth of the old computer screen, television screen, phone screen. Hope that's not where you're getting your warmth. Not a good source of warmth. Not a good source of heat. I mean, you know, you can have your flat screen TVs. I mean, you know, they're pretty big, and that's a thing that can warm you up. You know what I mean? Generates heat. I don't know if it'll warm you up. You know, and then you got you got all you're not gonna keep warm with your fucking phone. You know what I mean? It's not gonna keep you warm unless your battery's overheating. And it's like, ooh. But then your battery's overheating, and this just might be a disaster. I'm Warren. It's the Thursday stream. I decided to indulge in the Canadian delicacy known as poutine for dinner tonight. And there was a lot of fucking sauce. I had it delivered. And what they do is they deliver the sauce in a separate container than the actual like dish, right? And the reason why you want to do that is because the fries will all absorb the sauce on the way over, and they're gonna be like disgusting and sloppy, and it's not gonna be fun. So they gave me a rather big container, like way oversized for the size of poutine I got, and there was a little bit of a mishap. I got a little sauce in places. And I think I've cleaned up all right. Do I look okay? No traces. I need a shave. Don't get me wrong, but I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good. I feel like my fingers are still a little saucy, but aren't they always? My saucy little fingers. Let me tell you about my saucy little fingers. Welcome to the Thursday stream. Meggy O'Canna, nice to see you on the top of the leaderboard right now. Good for you, Meggy. Thank you. Thank you for the mood lighting, cycling in and out of colors that I like. These are colors that I like. I enjoy these colors. Hello, Warren. You're not Warren. That's true. Obscurity Knox. Nice to see you and welcome. You tagged me in a Blue Sky post when? Today? Let's go take a look ski. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's been a while. Oh, yeah, about 3 hours ago. Yeah, I sort of jumped off of it. It's usually it's part of it. Yeah, I take periodic breaks from social media and stuff during the day, so apologies I didn't get around to it. Oh, Hangman did go through the face tunnel. Interesting. Tell you that, Hangman. He's so conflicted, and that's why people love him. Poutine delivered. What a country. There you go. Our last and only poutine place closed like 5 years ago here in Hollywood. That's weird. I'd think that you'd think that Hollywood would have like a nice little poutine place. Why would they not? In Hollywood of all places. You're not like, in Sheboygan, you know what I mean? DJ Convoy, nice to see you and welcome. Yeah, push that little brat. Which one? Let's watch some wrestling. Nice to see you. But DJ Convoy, by the way, member of the MrWarrenHayes Show channel. Maggie O'Connor, also member of the channel. And let's watch some wrestling. Also a member of the channel. All nice to see you. Eddie Pugston has devolved into a puddle. So we're hiding in AC, playing Avowed, and drinking all the iced tea. That's good. I hope Eddie Pugston is not having the iced tea. That would be highly disavowed. Disavowed. Yeah, I hear Avowed is not bad. I hear it's actually pretty good. Hope you're enjoying it. That's from one of my favorite game studios, Obsidian, right? Obsidian rules. Of course, responsible for the greatest Fallout game of all time. Hope you're enjoying it. It just, and you know, it's just like I see the thing and I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to find a way to get into Expedition 33. Is that it? Expedition 33? Right. Why am I drawing a blank? Yeah, Expedition 33. Clair Obscure. Or as I'd say it around here, Clair Obscure! I'm gonna have to try and find a way. Apparently everyone loves it. Apparently it's a great, it's just great adjustments on the JRPG, or RPG, JRPG, role-playing games, period. And I'm like, well, maybe I should. I'm just thinking about it here. Here, let me put up my little Steam window here. Because for the flight, I'm going to be bringing my Steam Deck. I wonder if it's any good on Steam. Is it good to go on Steam? Is it good to go on Steam? On the Steam Deck, I mean, it's playable. Okay, so it's not like great, but it's some in-game text is small and can be difficult to read. And this game's launch setup tool may require the touch screen or virtual keyboard, or have difficult text to read. That could be a game. That could be a game breaker for me. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how all this goes. Moving on. Pedro the Fifth, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. It's hard being a Perfect Dark fan. You ain't kidding. Or a Rare fan, or a John Romero fan. Did you see that too? It's depressing. It's depressing. Play indie games, folks. I can't stress that enough. Play indie games. You're directly supporting the developers and the directors that work for the developers, but you're directly supporting the devs. Like, go straight to them. It helps them put food on the table and generate money so that they can create other projects. Indie games right now are in such a great place. Never mind these big fucking studios. We all know by now what they care about. Even you like Expedition 33? Holy shit. Okay, so it must be special. Silver Apocalypse, nice to see you, pal. Welcome to the chat. Also member of the channel. Where we were talking about the basically the studios being shut down, wasn't it? We were talking about Clair Obscure Expedition 33, and then the studio shutting down, and then me going Me reminding everyone that playing an indie game is tremendous. Some of my most fun gaming experience over the past few years have been with indie game studios. I'm a big Stardew Valley fan. I love the Stardew Valley. Hades is tremendous. I fucking love Hades. I've been on a mystery game kick recently, so stuff like the whatchamacallit, jeez, I can't think of the name right now. The Golden Idol series, the case of the Golden Idol and the rise of the Golden Idol. Those are tremendous games. Blueprints is awesome. I'm probably gonna play more of that. Yeah, well, I have to because I beat the game, but I'm not. I haven't completed it yet. Balatro, of course. Who doesn't love a good Balatro? Dave the Diver, Papers, Please. Tunic. Tunic was awesome. There's just a few that pop out of there. Popping in my head. Oh, Inscription. Inscription is amazing. It's just an amazing game. I don't hate everything. I just hate most things. That sounds like you. Hey, Juggernaut Bloodbath, nice to see you as well. Welcome to the chat. I can't wait for God of War 5 satisfying the shareholders. What other pantheon can we destroy next? Blueprints has gotten some people playing it on Twitch. It's a tremendous game. It's like it's a roguelike, which I already like. Oh, by the way, roguelikes, Binding of Isaac, Dead Cells, those games rock. Blueprints is so cool because it's a roguelike, but also like it's a puzzle game, but also wrapped within like an escape room vibe. It's so good, full of mysteries, full of secrets, that overarching stuff. Like, it's really cool, and you can beat the game without like unlocking everything, without getting to the nitty gritty of the lore and, you know, what happened, or unlocking every secret that's available to you. And I kind of want to do that, like go back and unlock everything, because the game is so rich, and there's environments that I'm like, I haven't been here. I can see it. I have not been there. I have to go there. I fucking love it. I love that game. Have you tried World of Horror? Yeah, that's the Junji Ito inspired like retro horror game, right? Happening in a town. I think that's the one we're talking about. I do have it, and I think I bought it in early access because I thought it was really interesting, and it didn't quite grasp me how I thought it would. Like, it's not bad, but I think it's been fully released now. I should go back and try it out. I should play again. But I remember like going in and being super excited, and then not quite being as into it as I thought it would, because it had all the elements that I love in games. You know, the basic elements, because it's also a roguelike. It's got the horror elements, which was tremendous, especially cosmic horror. That's right. I was like super into it, to the concept of it, but didn't quite work out for me. I should go back. I should give it another shot though. Oh, I finished Blueprints before she left for vacation. It's so interesting just watching someone else play. it's one of those games that you can really sit back and watch another person play. Like I've been watching playthroughs of the new, well, one playthrough of the new Five Nights at Freddy's game. And not that here's my relationship with Five Nights at Freddy's. This is a wrestling podcast, by the way. Here's my relationship with Five Nights at Freddy's. I have kids. My kids were kind of into Five Nights at Freddy's in different ways, and so I, as a hip father, I then tried to get. I even tried to come around to to get involved into what they do and be interested, and so I'd follow things with Freddy and from afar. So I know bits and bobs of lore and whatnot. So, but I don't play the games. I don't think Five Nights at Freddy's is particularly fun. I don't think it's a fun game. I tried and it's like it's kind of dumb. I don't like it. It's for me, right? And now they did the whole. Now it's a full-on first person affair where you're walking around buildings in these 3D environments and fully animated animatronics, and you're solving puzzles. And I was looking at the gameplay and I'm like, man, the gameplay loop is kind of boring. It's very predictable, and it really seems to suffer from pacing issues because I got bored watching it. So I don't know. It's but then it's like, I'm deep enough into the lore where I'm like, I want to understand the lore here. Now I understand what's going on. I want to, how all of this connects to, this and that. No, I'm not that deep. I don't fully grasp everything. Not one of these people who does who do the what's the word I'm looking for? These deep dive, but that's not what's the word I'm looking for? Like these videos where they're just breaking everything down. Anyway, I guess these deep dive type lore things. I'm not into that, but I'm not into it to that degree is what I'm trying to say. But I have my moments. I have my moments nonetheless. Darkest Dungeon 2 is better than the original. I haven't played Darkest Dungeon 2. I was really satisfied with Darkest Dungeon, so I don't know. I've noticed several people playing a game called Dating Everything. I have seen that on my Steam lists on the store, for you, and I'm like, no, that is not for me. What are you talking about? No. Yeah, the idea is that you can date literally everything. I think that's the gimmick. Objects, and sounds cool. I just don't know. I do have standards. Sports and Things shows. How you doing, Carlos? Carlos, welcome to the chat. There you go. We chatted it up. Yes. No. Wait, where did I go? Here I am. That's where I went to. Hey, thank you for being here, everyone. I appreciate it a great deal. It is a great time to be alive as a pro wrestling fan. A lot of cool stuff happening. Should we do just a few Just a few notes before we get into before we pull up the docket, see what's going on. A hoo-yah button would be really awesome. That's the next. Like I think I'm at a stage right now where I'd like to have like a stream deck or something. You know, maybe not an official one, but something to that effect. I think I might enjoy that now. I think that's where I'm at now in my streaming career, where I feel like I need a stream deck. As opposed to, you know, when all I do was just like flip a couple of buttons and let everything go. Now it's like, you know, I want all my sounds ready. I want my soundboard ready. So, in case you don't know, earlier today, I released, of course, my AEW Dynamite review, which is available right now because I did release it here on YouTube or on your favorite podcast application. So take the time out of your week to give it some loving. I liked today's review. I thought it was good, which is good to do. It's easy to do when you have a really good show to review. And I thought last night's Dynamite was great, if you want a little spoiler, but I won't go necessarily deeper into those weeds because I want you to watch the rest of the stream. The show. I want you to watch the rest of the stream, but I also want you to go watch the Dynamite review as well. So that's available here. Plus my top list, my list of the best matches of May 2025 is also released earlier today as well. Big day of releases. Boom, boom, back to back. Wham, bam. It's 1-2 combo. Are you knocked out? Knocked out by all the great content you're consuming, probably. So that's out there. You can also go check that out. It's a good list again. And we're starting. See, we're very close to the midway point in my list, and you know, it will very soon be there. So you're really starting to see how my list is shaping up. How it's all coming together. We're starting to get a really good look at how things are going. And we're going to have to make some really hard decisions, folks. As we get closer and closer to the end of the year. You know, we're halfway in. I've got a bunch of 5-star matches on that list. It's going to get hard. It's going to get really, really difficult. We're going to have to make some very ungrateful decisions as we get closer to the end of the year. So, you know, it's like a drama. So that's available right now. And as it pertains to to my streaming schedule for the next few days, a couple of weeks, I should say, it's very much up in the air. I talked about it a bit, but it bears saying it again because maybe you weren't here when I was talking about it last time and so on and so forth. But I am, for those of you who don't know, I am going to the southern part of the United States. Well, I mean, yes, I'm going to Texas to see the All In show next week. I am leaving on Monday, and actually I'm heading to Wisconsin to meet up with Kristen, and then from there we're going to road trip to Texas to enjoy the All In Texas spectacle, and then come back. And I'll be gone. I'll be away from ye old Quebec City for a good 15 days. So I'm not quite sure how my recording schedule is going to be. I would say with much aplomb, unless like there's really stuff that I absolutely can't wait to speak on. I don't think I'll be streaming any. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the Dynamite review next week yet. I don't know if I'm going to record it, how I'm going to record it. Is it just going to be audio? Like, I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. So stop pestering me. It's gonna be mostly a question of how much time I have on my hands, because there's going to be a lot of traveling, and the same thing goes with a review of All In. There's a fair chance that I might be a little late to the party with my review, because look, it won't be the next day. Because again, I'm on vacation. I'm at a lovely hotel with my girlfriend. The next day we're getting up. We're going to have a nice breakfast. Then we're going to see the TJPW show. Then we're hitting the road to go back to Wisconsin. So I don't know what I'm going to record. I frankly, honestly, I just don't know when I'm going to get to recording. I will, though. I just don't know when. And then in the meantime, I know at the same time, the G1 is going to be starting up, the G1 Climax 35. And I want to do my daily coverage like I've been doing for the past few years. I want to do daily coverage of the G1, but I've got nothing. I don't know when I'll be able to really dig in. Like, while in the last few days that I'm going to be in Wisconsin, Kristen is going to have to do a little bit of work. She's taking some time off, but she also has to work. So maybe during her work hours, maybe I can do that. It's all up in the air, man. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. No, well, I know what I should do. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing it yet. So really the best way to just stay informed, to stay on top of things, is to subscribe to the channel. If you are already, there you go. I'll be posting updates in the community tab. You can follow me on Blue Sky. I'll be posting updates there as well. And the Mr. Warren Hayes Show Discord. Link is in the description. Those are probably like the best ways, the three best ways, the three only ways really that I use to those are the three ways that I will be using to communicate, to get to you folks, you fine folks. So there you have it. That's what we're going to be up to. As far as the content stuff goes. So, it might be a little sparse over the next couple of weeks, but don't worry. I'm not going back under the knife unexpectedly. At least I hope not. That's not the plan. I will be out having a good time, living my life to the fullest, and then coming back. And once I'm back here, well, I'll probably get back into the usual rhythm, and everything will fall right back into place really, really easily. So there you go. I think that covers pretty much everything. And I'm sure you'll be able. I'm sure you'll be able to enjoy All In without me coming out the next day saying, yes, you were right to enjoy it, or not. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. But, probably some of you will be looking forward to my thoughts, and they will come. I don't know when. That's the thing. Warren is going to come back with the Texas drawl. I think I can take penicillin for that. 10-gallon hat with an arrow through it. I am legitimately going to buy myself a 10-gallon hat. I really want to buy a big old. I really want to buy a big old cowboy hat. I can't go to Texas and not get a cowboy hat, right? It's the first time I'm going. I've never been to Texas, so of course I'm buying a cowboy hat, right? Of course I am. Plus, on top of that, I bought the the AEW, the all-in luchador mask that they had made. So my plan is to walk around with the luchador mask and the cowboy hat. I think that's a good idea, right? Comes back with the propane tank or propane accessories. I'll get ourselves Stetson. There you go. I don't know about the boots, though. I'm not convinced about the boots. I'm a little weenie when it comes to my Tootsies. I like them to be comfy. I don't like I don't know. They'd have to be the fucking comfiest cowboy boots of all fucking time. Because I've worn cowboy boots in the past and other circumstances. And can't exactly vouch for their comfort. I mean, they were bad. Cheap, I should say. So maybe that has something to do with it. But they really have to be like the comfiest fucking boots of all time. Cowboy Warren show. Yeah, me and Chase Owens. Nope. I can guarantee there is no line dancing in my future. That I can fucking guarantee. Your brother cannot dance, and he has never learned to dance, and he will never learn to dance because he's quite bad at it. Anywho, it's time for us to move along here. Let's get this one started.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Jacques Mollier.
That's right.
Just let me tell you
it's the best way to get this going.
I'm a nunchuck master, and I represent NWA, Mountain State Wrestling. Hoo-yah!
Hoo-yah! The Cuban Shuffle and the what's the Cuban Shuffle? Wait a second. What is the Cuban Shuffle? Yeah, I can do the I could probably pull off Jacques Mollier's I could probably pull off Jacques Mollier's moves there, his routine. I probably could. What is the Cuban Shuffle? It's a Cupid Shuffle. Or we're saying Cuban? I know what the achy breaky dance is. The Cuban Shuffle is a line dance? Why are they calling it the Cupid Shuffle? Why is it all Cupid? What is the name? Oh, a conga line. A conga line? Is this what it is? Is that what the Cuban Shuffle is? A conga line? Because look, legit, I type in Cuban Shuffle, and what we're getting here is Cupid Shuffle. This is it? This is the thing? Ultra beginner. This, I want to educate myself. I want to see what. All right. Come on. Let's move on with it. Show me the line dance, not just posturing. So this is it, and it's all Asian ladies. Look at that. It's all Asian ladies who are going to do this. Okay, as it's... There's no way I'm doing this. Not only is there no way I'm doing this, no one wants to see me do this. I got to be careful. I just realized I might get thrown out. This might get copyright struck, right? I just realized it. I hadn't thought about it. I should have just muted the fucking music. I really didn't think about it. I'm probably gonna get copyright claimed on this. Let me see here. Stream health is okay. All right, I haven't been kicked off, so that's good. Yeah, let's see a little more. Let's see a little more. Like, yeah, I mean, there's no way I'm doing this. I don't have the hips to pull it off. To be completely honest, I just don't have the hips to pull it off. A dance performed at every wedding I ever attended in Chicago. Why have I never heard about this? I have never heard about that. At first I was like, a conga line? Like everyone knows what a fucking conga line is. Why are you calling it the Cuban shuffle? Which is actually probably the Cupid shuffle now, right? I've never heard of this. I have never ever heard of this. Dirt road racing, Cupid shuffle line dance to music. Instruction, anyway. It's the new electric slide. Oh, well, okay. Well, I mean, every generation needs its electric slide. Sure, I can buy that. I can absolutely buy that. Oh, and of course, in Texas, I'm going to have some barbecue. What are you talking about? I mean, all in is at like it's in the middle of the afternoon. We'll be out of there and then it'll be time to look for dinner reservations. So it's perfect. Perfect. Be able to enjoy the sights and sounds of Arlington, Texas. I have no idea. I have no idea what exactly we're doing. One thing I am going to do on our way over, we're going to visit this. The Buddy Holly crash site. This is on our way. This is legitimate. This is a legitimate place that is on our way. I think it's in Iowa, right? Yeah, exactly. It's in Iowa, and it's the spot where the crash where Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper passed away. The day the music died. And we're going to go take a look at it. Kidding me? We're driving right past it. I'm like, of course we're stopping in to take a look at this. I know. Didn't you hear me? We're doing a road trip. A road trip. From where we're leaving, the whole trip is 18 hours. So yes, we're sleeping on the way and so on and so forth. It's a road trip, a trip that you do on the road. Not just going from point A to point B. That's right. That's right. All right. Enough goofiness, enough nonsense. What do we got here? We've got some stuff to talk about. I'll tell you what now. We're going to do a little follow-up on the Britt Baker situation that we talked about on the last stream, upon which we were talking about how she seemed disgruntled with AEW, making a little inspirational quote, or posting a little inspirational quote with quotes around the inspirational quote term. Wasn't quite sure what the hell was going on. Kind of made a little fun. We poked a little fun at the quote itself, thinking, probably not the comparison you think it is. Probably not probably not what you thought it was meant to say there, Brit. But here's where we're at now. This was reported originally. Who had reported it originally? It was Body Slam, right? Yeah, it was Body Slam. And let's get into it then I guess, other news organizations, other news outlets, aka the Sheets, started reaching out to their contracts to see if there was any truth to this. So let's read this article here. I think that's a good summary that we have on the Figure 4 Online by our boy Josh Nason. Shout out Josh. The news on former AEW Women's World Champion Britt Baker is that there is no news. Oh, what? Amid the latest rumors of her looking for her release from AEW in order to go to WWE, Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that from what he has heard, quote, "There's been absolutely no change in anything. I've heard she's still got time left on her deal, and there's been nothing new in terms of coming back and nothing new in terms of imminently leaving. So it appears nothing is going on right now." Dave Meltzer added that when he is asked, no one has either confirmed or denied her wanting to go to WWE, but that those in AEW don't think there's anything to it. The 34-year-old returned in the summer of 2024 after nearly a year away, but has only wrestled 5 times in the last year, with her last match coming in November 2024. It's unclear why she has been off TV for so long with no explanation. While Baker herself has posted on social media during the absence, she has not provided any insight either. So, apparently there's nothing going on here, right? I mean, we speculated, right? We speculated around the thing, and I didn't necessarily talk about her going straight out the door. It's like, okay, she's done. It's more like, oh, here we go. We're vague posting. We're doing that thing. And we also made fun of the quote, which I think was really, my main contribution here. But we did have an extended, it did allow us to talk about contracts in pro wrestling and wrestlers, wrestlers and how they position themselves to negotiate and get new contracts and stuff like that. So, it was a really good and interesting conversation overall. But, not only, like Alvarez says here, he says there's still time left on her deal. I believe it was Fightful, I want to say, that reported that she has a year on her deal still. And then on top of that, she might have injury time tacked on to it because, well, she's been injured. So Britt is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, you can absolutely argue to me and say, well, Warren, what does it matter to tack on injury time if she wants to go? Tony released Ray Phoenix before his injury time was up and so on and so forth. It's like, no, you're right. True. Absolutely true. Might be the same type of situation. Look, but the point is that even before we start talking about added on time, she still has to fulfill like her basic contract. She still has to work through the next year, which is just like part of what she is. So yeah, like Silver Apocalypse just said, she could be there. She could. We don't know the exact details, but there's potentially until 2027, late 2026. We don't know, but she's probably not moving anytime soon, which is fine. It's all right. I wanted to give this follow-up. But I mean, look, for everything I said, everything I said on the stream on Tuesday still stands. Like, I stand by what I talked about. The speculation and whether or not she should stay or go, or what would be best for her, and etc. It's like, I still stand by that. And if we circle back around to all of this, then in 365 days or so, I doubtful my opinion will have changed, unless she suddenly becomes once again the biggest star in the women's division. But somehow I'm not feeling that one anymore. I kind of feel like that ship has sailed, but you never know. You never know. I still think, as far as, day one talent who's still around and should be pushed or given the heads up or whatever. It's like, I think she still has, I think she's still in this environment, in my mind, of wrestlers that have not grown with the company, that have not changed with the company, and now the company is in such a different place than it was in 2021. Like, it's crazy. You sort of have to keep up. You have to keep reinventing yourself. I mean, it's fine. And the question is, can she do it? Does she want to do it? These are all very pertinent questions. So there we go for now. That's where we're at for now. I swear if I see Baker at the Gauntlet. I mean, it would be really funny. Like, it would be a terrific, honestly, that'd be a terrific troll that you would have pulled. That would just be terrific, honestly. NXT Performance Center is turning into the 2025 TNA Impact Zone. It's all it's all kind of, it all sort of feels the same now, doesn't it? Idle speculation is what feeds us. Correct. It's great content. I can't wait for the Britt Baker JC Jane program. What if I told you that might happen in WWE? I can't imagine evolving your wrestling chops while working on someone's teeth on the side. Hey, listen, I'm going to give this lady all the credit for like managing two careers like this, two completely different careers on top of that. I'm giving her massive credit. She is tremendous. Finishing her degree, having her practice, and doing the wrestling at a very high level. I mean, credit. If you're going to keep her, then she should be used. Even if it's not always for the AEW Women's title, there's the TBS title and potential tag titles. But then again, here's the question. What does Britt want? And that's the question. Millerunk. Hope I pronounced that right. Nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. I think there's some juice in the Ross feud if both of them are willing to really work for the betterment of the company. Ross, Rick Ross, Jim Ross. I'm being stupid right now. Is my brain farting? Does everyone know what we're talking? Rosa. Oh, sorry. I think my eyes went cross. It's not Ross, it's Rosa. Yeah, I think so too. I think there's another match. I think there's another match in there. But like you said, Millerunk. If they're ready to put their differences aside and work together, then sure. But both of them are temperamental. Let's put it that way. Okay, Mama, nice to see you, brother. Welcome. Britt versus Nikita Lyons. Someone the other day told me, said Nikita Lyons is Ali Catch's Pokemon evolution, and I still can't stop thinking about that and how funny that is and how accurate it is too. People really want to see a hair versus hair match between Thunder and Baker. Is that what we do? We do an apuestas match? Not super into that either, gotta say. That reminds me of something that wasn't on the docket, and I guess I forgot to put it there. Where is it? I know it's on. I know it's on here. You observer website, you. It's not this deep. Where is it? Did you take the article down? Oh no, it's here. There we go. There is a report from. Oh, look at that, Miggy. We're on the same wavelength. That comes to us from WrestleZone. So here's your big fucking grain of salt. WrestleZone suddenly WrestleVotes suddenly out of nowhere getting WWE AEW scoops. Excuse me, just out of nowhere suddenly WrestleVotes getting AEW scoops. Something really weird about this. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not. I don't know, but WrestleVotes reported today that Isla Dawn might be on her way to becoming All Elite. They reported that the 31-year-old Scotland native was recently backstage at an AEW event, and the expectation is that she will start with the company in the near future. And I got to tell you, that one caught me completely off guard. If look, I don't know if people realize this, but Isla Dawn, she kind of stinks. She's not great. Of course, no one really knows that because she never fucking wrestled while she was in WWE. She barely wrestled in NXT, and then when they did the call up, they trotted her out with Kylie Ray. What's her name? Alba Fire. They trotted her out for the Castle Clash show, for the Clash at the Castle show, and that was it, right? Beat Jade and Bianca Belair, but then Jade and Bianca Belair regained the titles a month later, 4 weeks later, something like that. They got the titles back, and it's all right, it's fine. Completely out of the blue, and I don't know what the interest would be in. I don't understand. I'm shocked to find out she's 31 years old. I thought she was older than that. That means she started wrestling really young. She's been in this program for so long. She's been in WWE for a long fucking time. She was one of the original signees for the NXT UK stuff. She's been in this company for a long time. Look, as far as speculation goes, I don't know. I don't know. What does she have to offer? It's kind of weird, when you think that, Nixon Newell is out there, Shotzi Blackheart is out there, Dakota Kai is out there, and all of these others. We never even heard a peep about AEW even showing some interest, right? And I'm sitting here talking about, well, I think it's a good move that AEW is not going around picking up WWE people willy-nilly for this, keeping its locker room filled with people that would actually be great fits, as opposed to just being WWE people that you bring in. And now Isla Dawn, just out of fucking nowhere. What kind of conversation did she have? Who did she talk to? Where news can be leaked that Oh yeah, she's on her way. Because here's the thing that bothers me in this situation, right? I'll tell you what bothers me in this situation. The women's division in AEW right now is very competitive. I think it's got some extremely talented elements. It's probably at its best right now. And despite that, the women are struggling to get TV time. It's been well documented. It's well recorded. You know, the complaints are continuous. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't complain. If you're a women's wrestling fan, you are underserved by AEW. And I can understand that. I buy into that, you know, where it's like they just keep on, you know, they do these 4-hour shows and they'll only book one women's match. And you're like, what are you guys doing? You know, why isn't there more? Why? Look, we're heading into the pay-per-view this weekend, next weekend, and there's 2 women's shows booked, 2 women's matches booked for the card. There's the tag match and the women's gauntlet match. That's it, you know? And there's women right now on that roster that would be much deserving of having a bigger spot on TV in the creative and have their, you know, have their own programs. But AEW is not allotting that time. Just Willow and Statlander off the top of my head are 2 people that I'd want some focus on. You know, you just brought in Tekla. And you gave her the spider gimmick for week after week, you know, to sort of spice up her arrival, and then you have like Queen Aminata that's waiting in the back, and I think people are growing more and more fond of her. Like, she's coming in, she's beating people up. People like it when people come in to beat other people up. That's how Athena got over. So, you know, if you bring in Isla Dawn, who are you going to then push away from TV for these very coveted women's wrestling spots on AEW programming? Look, I just mentioned Athena. A lot of people want Athena to come back to AEW and tear shit up, but if you bring in Isla Dawn, then who are you moving off? And I'm not trying to be, unless your plan is absolutely to have, unless your plan is 100% to add more women's matches to AEW programming. Now, if that's what you want to do, bring in more people, round out your roster, your women's roster. That's fine. That's fine. But if everything stays as it is right now, and you decide to bring in former WWE, you know, tag team specialist, I don't even know if we say specialist, you know, former member of a tag team, Isla Dawn, you're going to put her on TV, and who are you not going? Whose spot is she going to eat up? And there are people right now that the fans want to see more of. They want more Willow Nightingale. This has been the case for years. They want more Willow. They want more Statlander. I think they want more Aminata. I think Aminata has piqued the interest. You know, finally, I think people are starting to see what people who watch Deadlock Pro see. When Aminata shows up in Deadlock Pro and she whips ass, and you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. I think that's starting to become a thing now. But the idea, I'm okay with this overall, right? My main problem is, why, if you stay down this path of booking women, the women's division, in this format here, where it's one match per show and 2 pay-per-view matches, and even less sometimes, and you bring in someone new to feature on TV, you are taking a spot away necessarily from someone that the AEW fans actually want to see. They want to see one of their own. Rosa, Willow, Statlander. I'll even throw Julia Hart in there. That's the thing. That's what I'm having trouble wrapping my head around. That's what I'm having trouble wrapping my head around. So, I wouldn't be bringing in Isla Dawn. I don't know what she brings to the table. Who gives a fuck about Isla Dawn? Honestly, between all of us, who gives a shit about Isla Dawn? What does she bring to the table? Is she... Look, hey, didn't AEW... They brought in Alex Windsor, right? What the fuck has Alex Windsor been doing? Ring of Honor? Well, that's not super exciting, is it? There's like 76 people on the Ring of Honor roster that you never see, that no one ever sees wrestle because no one subscribes to the fucking service. So who cares? King of the North, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat, brother. I feel it's been a while. TK too busy looking at the analytics when he should be giving the women a chance. Sure, but I think he's looking at the analytics, and I think that's what's tainting his decisions in regards to giving the women a chance. I think the one problem with AEW Women's Division is having a title shot every pay-per-view. Narrows the focus and automatically takes a spot. WWE doesn't have a title match every pay-per-view, which is dumb. Which is dumb. Your titles should be defended on pay-per-view. That's what your titles are for. They're supposed to be attractions. And if you're bringing in if you're bringing in your champions onto a show so that people will buy them, that's the logic behind it. I don't have a problem with every title being defended on a pay-per-view. In fact, I'm like, yes, this makes sense. On the flip side, WWE books 5 matches a pay-per-view and they have 22 titles. So there's no way. I'm being semi-facetious, but they do have legitimately 22 titles. They cannot run a pay-per-view show where all their titles are being defended. And this has been a thing for a while. Remember when Ricochet was Intercontinental Champion? You remember that? And the Intercontinental title hadn't been defended on a pay-per-view for 4 months straight. That shit doesn't make sense. What's stopping AEW from doing a 60-40 match split with men and women on TV? Tony Khan. There's your answer. If I were bringing in somebody, it would be Baszler to team with Shafir. I like Shayna Baszler a lot. I think she'd be great in the Death Riders, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I have no look. Besides, she's on the 90 days, right? She's on the 90 days. So we'll see how that turns out. I really, really like Shayna. I've always been a big Shayna Baszler fan. She's the one amongst the 4 women of UFC, 4 horsewomen of UFC, who has taken the best to wrestling. I know everyone will say Ronda, but Ronda's promo stunk, and she also was exposed as being not that great a wrestler. Shayna understands, she was able to transition really, really well. And I thought her promos when she was in NXT were killer. Like she had all the air of legitimacy you needed for someone to come in where you'd be like, this person can rip that other person's arms off if she wanted. I fucking love Shayna. I think she's great. She would be someone I would immediately drop money for. Much more than Isla fucking Dawn. I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense to me. The Isla Dawn stuff. It just does not make sense. Shane and Dakota are easy AEW fits if anyone comes in. Dakota Kai, I don't know. 2025 Dakota Kai, I don't know. I really don't. 3-4 years ago, I'd be. When she was released the first time, I was like, to me, that it was a no-brainer. But now, I don't know. I think her injuries are catching up to her. She's, I think, okay. We'll put it a little crudely, but I think she's a little more broken down than people realize. How about that? I just mean a team of Shayna and Marina. The writers might be going bye-bye soon. Oh no, okay, counterpoint. I don't want to see Marina Shafir wrestle. I think she's terrible. Marina Shafir, in the role that she's in right now, tremendous. As a pro wrestler, I think she stinks. I guess we'll see who shows up at both men and women's gauntlet matches. Exactly. Britt Baker in the women's. Are we all in agreement that Danielson's showing up in the men's, right? We're all in agreement. We're all in agreement, right? That Danielson is showing up in the gauntlet and he's going to come out to Final Countdown and we're all going to be crying in the audience because he's going to. There's no way he's not doing it. There's no way he's not showing up. He's taking bumps in Arena Mexico. He's throwing Busaiku knees and flat backing. See, Brian Danielson, he takes flat backs. Not unlike that creep Karrion Kross, right? Never flat backs. It doesn't take flat back bumps. I don't know if you heard about this. Danielson's the real one. Karrion Kross won't take a flat back bump for the life of him. At least that's what I've been told. I'm laughing because it is the dumbest but also funniest drama. Like all this Karrion Kross stuff. It is the most insipid and dumb drama in a business that is full of insipid and dumb drama. I don't know why anyone has any vested interest in anything regarding Karrion Kross. I don't know how anyone doesn't see that it's a perfectly orchestrated machine. It's so funny. Dakota Kai did AEW early last time she was released. Well, sure. Maybe some things are. Maybe we're still a little sore on things. I don't know. But again, Dakota Kai is another one. I don't know. I don't know if I'd bring her in. I do think Shayna and Deville would be the better team. I think Deville is done with wrestling. Honestly, I think Sonya Deville is just gonna. I think she'll be good, and she's gonna sit around and she's gonna wait for TKO to call her, WWE to call her to give her a Legends deal, and that's what she's gonna do. 100% convinced. Memuero final countdown back to back in the gauntlet would be insane, brother. I gotta watch. They can't do it. It'll be terrible for my heart. It will be awful for my heart. But is he just wrestling or a run-in? Danielson, he's not doing this if he's not wrestling. Bryan Danielson will not be doing a simple run-in at a gauntlet match if he's not wrestling. No way, no how. He's got the itch again. We saw all the signs. He's gonna do it. He's coming back. He was sitting in Arena Mexico 3 weeks ago now. In Grand Slam week, he was watching the Tuesday show with Chris Hero, and he's sitting there, and he had a John Deere hat on, and fucking smiling from ear to ear, just like his lights, the lights in his eyes are just like shimmering. Just everything's going off. He's got the itch again. He's gonna sit down with Brie, and he's gonna say, "Baby, I have to do this again." And she's gonna throw shit around. She's like, "No, motherfucker, I'm so sick of this shit. You said you were done." A guy like Danielson, you can't keep away from wrestling. He's just one of those. He's just one of those. There's no fucking way. He's sitting there. He was sitting there next to Hero, and he was saying, "Oh man, I'm ready to do this again." And Hero's like, "Brother, retirement is so cool." You got the two. You literally have like two completely different visions when it comes to your life after wrestling, where you have Chris Hero, who's like, "I really don't want to wrestle all that much anymore. I'm done. Like, I'm doing my producer gigs. I'm training. I'm fine. Retirement is really nice." And you have Danielson is like, "I can't retire yet. I still have more to give." It's like, hear me out. Darby makes the final save for Hangman to win. Darby fights Mox at All Out. When Darby wins, Danielson returns to face Mox with a plastic bag. It's a 2-on-1. It's Mox in the plastic bag versus Danielson. I'm kidding. I'm being stupid. Sure. Is Darby in the gauntlet, or does Darby just like show up to keep the Death Riders away? Because now that they made it the Texas Death Match, there's there's nothing that's keeping them from whoa, what is this? What happened here? That's weird. And we're back. That was weird. Now that it's no DQ, basically, like, the Death Riders are going to try to do all sorts of shit. And I think anyone with a brain understands that what's going to happen is that all the heels that have been banded together, the Elite, the Death Riders, they're all going to come together to try and keep Hangman from winning. But all the people that Hangman has been aligned with over the past few months now are all going to come back and sort of defend them. Like, it's going to be an Avengers Endgame type of deal, where all the heroes are going to come together, band together to fight off Thanos, right? That's the thing, and we're all going to go, woo! It's going to be a moment, and we got to be ready for this. We have to be ready for this, because All In, as they're positioning it right now, is part of it is going to be the creation of moments, like MJF and Adam Cole in Wembley, okay? So there's stuff that's going to happen that on this show that kind of straddles between hardcore wrestling fans and, you know, I don't want to say casual fans, but more like, you know, non-hardcore. I don't think it necessarily goes from hardcore to casual. I think there's an in between. So there's going to be like a moment that's going to happen there. But you know, and I beg of AEW to do this, and hopefully, if anyone's listening right now, I beg of you, don't have anyone actually have anyone from the outside to have something to do with the finish. Hangman needs to win this match clean, or as clean as possible. What I mean by clean is not have someone do something to John upon which Hangman can capitalize and then get the win. If they want to chase off the fucking Death Riders, that's fine. If they want to chase off the Bucks, that's fine. That's what they should do. That's what the Ops should do. That's what Will Ospreay should do. That's what Darby Allin should do. But my worst scenario that's starting to ferment in my brain here is Darby Allin pulling the coffin drop on Jon Moxley, and then immediately after, Hangman does the buckshot lariat for the win. I think that would be the biggest fucking disservice. I would be very disappointed in a finish like that. Hangman has to win clean. He has to win like a hero, not, you know, by fluke chance that someone came in to sort of help him. Otherwise, what are we doing? You know, it's going to start to look like a Hogan Sting Starrcade affair, as opposed to putting the right guy over the right way. You know what I mean? That's what I'm afraid of. That's why I'd be super comfortable with Darby Allin returning in the gauntlet. It'd be a great surprise. You know, let him do his thing. And then maybe later show up to drive off the Death Riders. But please, oh God, please, please don't have him win the match for Hangman. Don't have anyone win the match for Hangman. Hangman has to do it himself. He has to do it himself. Kristen Ashley, nice to see you. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Member of the channel on top of that. What do you want from me? Sting and Darby double rappel from the rafters to make the save in the main event. See, that would be really cool. I'd kind of be into that. That's a hell of a drop, though. This is a fucking stadium, right? Like, oh my God. But like coming in to stir shit up, sure. Like Sting sort of hinted that he might be at All In. He's probably going to be at the StarCast gimmick, right? So, you know, there's a chance he might be at All In. That would rule. You know, we get some nice surprises for the fans in this, right? My biggest concern right now is Hangman winning clean. That's what he has to do. That's really, really what he has to do. Do you think they're going to do a traditional Texas death match with a 10 count? Sure. Sure, why not? That's what they've been doing for the last couple, right? I think they should. I think Hangman should win by hitting a GTS, Deadeye, and the buckshot all in a row. The idea I'm sorry. The idea of Hangman winning the match with the go to sleep is hilarious. Or at least using it, right? I mean, it's not, it's fair game. It's fair game. They have Logan Paul using his fucking finisher. Why not? I'm still shocked, quite frankly. Because I talked about it on the review today. I don't want to necessarily rehash all the points, and I'll invite you to go listen to the review. I've been given rave reviews on my review today. None other than Trish and Sarah from the Trish and Sarah podcast. I'm a little baffled, flummoxed. How about that? I'm flummoxed a little when it comes to the Hangman Mox thing, where I was kind of on social media today, but I really wasn't deep diving stuff, getting into the nitty gritty of things. I have a couple of days work before I leave for vacation, so there's a lot of stuff I have to get done. But it turns out like people wanted a video package to rekindle the story of Mox versus versus Hangman. And I'm like, pardon me, I'm clipping your comment, by the way, King of the North. Here's what I'm talking about. Just to be clear, I broke down everything for the opening promo. Broke everything down, from top to bottom on the review. And to me, it was like, well, isn't it obvious that Jon Moxley coming out to say you don't have what it takes to Hangman Page to win a Texas Death Match is Jon Moxley being a disingenuous, lying piece of shit heel? Because anyone with half a brain knows that Hangman Page was 100% capable of beating Jon Moxley in a Texas Death Match. The Texas Death Match is Hangman Page's signature match. It's Mick Foley's boiler room match, although Mick Foley never won any, but or he may have won one, but he always lost them. Or how the Buried Alive match with Undertaker and so on and so forth. That's his match. So I didn't see this as some people saw it, where it's like, oh well, Mox didn't understand it, or poor continuity. It's like, no, Mox was absolutely trying to weasel his way out of the match because he knew if he fought Adam Page in a Texas Death Match, he's fucked. he's fucked. Because Hangman not only is great in these matches, not only have they fought before in one of these matches, Hangman has become sadistic in these matches. So he wants no part of this. So he comes in with all the bravado saying, you don't have what it takes, throwing it back on Hangman so that he can have an out to say, no, I'm not doing it because you, kid, you stink. Whereas the rest of us just sit there and go, fuck you, Mox. We see what you're doing, right? But apparently, not everyone saw this. Not everyone saw that Hangman had to trick Mox into accepting the match. Mox decides to take a powder. Then they come back to sort of, they beat up on Page. Then he takes a powder. Page comes back up, taunts Claudio, calls him neutered and whatnot. So that fires him back up. He's, Page is starting to sucker them back in. The ops come out for reinforcements. Then there's the whole thing with with Marina Shafir and whatnot, and he gets Mox to accept because he suckered him in by poking at his pride. And for some reason, people didn't get this, and they were like, "It probably would have helped if there was a video package for the last time they met in a Texas death match." And I'm like, would it have really helped? Would it? Because all the elements are there. If you've been sitting around watching AEW, paying attention and remembering what the fuck is going on with some of the main characters of the, if you want to use TV speak, some of the main characters of the entire promotion, if you've been paying attention, you're absolutely understanding what's going on, and you don't need you don't need a video package reminding you of the time they met. It doesn't even matter in what they're trying to do here, because everyone who watches AEW knows that Hangman Adam Page is the king of the fucking Texas death match. That's all there is to it. So Mox coming in going, no, I'm not going to fight you because you don't have what it takes. Everyone knows he's full of shit. And then Hangman turns the tables on him. Hangman ends up turning the tables on Mox and tricks Mox into accepting the match. Mox is fucked. And Mox knows it, but he was about to lose face. Marina was in trouble, so on and so forth. So, it's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand where this came from. And I talk about it on the review. You see, it's a quality review. Getting results, getting rave reviews, getting big pats on the back for shit where I'm like, well, it's not exactly brain surgery. It's like, I figured it out, and I'm dumb as a post. And I figured it out. And I didn't, I don't know. I didn't need a video package. It's like, yeah, Mox was trying to weasel his way out of it by telling disingenuous heel lines. And Mox has been disingenuous as a heel the entire time through. So it all works. So, it's like, who cares? Like, who cares about a video package? Now, if you want to throw in a video package, go right ahead. But I don't think it helps assist the comprehension of what's going on in this in this angle. It's really just as simple as the disingenuous heel says a lie, tries to make something a truth, when the undeniable babyface truth is right there and is countering everything he's saying. Anyway, I really don't understand what all this was about. I really don't understand what all this was about. I don't know how people didn't pick up on it. I don't know how people felt like they needed more storyline to it. I fucking don't understand. I don't understand this. It just boggles my mind. Anyway, I'm stoked for this match. They have made this match the most exciting thing on earth this year. If they fumble this, like the execution, like the actual match, it's going to be so disappointing. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. 2 matches got my ass into that. Well, that's not true. I don't want to be disingenuous myself. I was going to say 2 matches got my ass into that stadium, and it's this one and Omega Okada 5. But that would be a lie. That would be a bald-faced lie on my part, because all these tickets and all this trip was a gift. So I was going regardless. Warren, thoughts on Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell at TNA Slammiversary in the UBS Arena? What? No. Did they announce that? Did they announce Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell? Tessa must be thrilled. Oh, fuck me. No way. I mean, Tessa's going to have her work cut out for her. But then again, also, it's Tessa, so who cares? Is Tessa being punished? Is this the best they could do for Tessa Blanchard? Oh, who cares? Who cares? She'll be called up to WWE in no time. She'll be called up to WWE in no time flat. Wait. Do we risk it? Do we risk it? I think we're gonna risk it. We're gonna risk the copyright claim here. I think this might be worth it because this. Look, Indy did not wear a top that is very conducive to a pull-apart brawl. Okay? All right? Let's just take a look at this.
This is clearly not settled. Blanchard and Hartwell going at it rings.
Not exactly the most exciting stuff, right? It's not exactly riveting. Look at fuckface Tom here. He's sitting there. He's got a little bit of a grin here. He's enjoying this. Ah, son of a bitch.
Someone aside the security.
This is not a good pull apart. But like I'm looking at Indy's top was not very conducive to this. That's a very poor choice. Look, yeah, she's got her hand immediately like over her chest. She's like, she knows how close she came on this one. Look. She's like, ugh. Please, someone's got to cut a promo here. Someone's got to cut a promo. Is someone going to cut a promo? Oh God! It's not even Tessa that's going to cut the promo. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That's right. Thump, 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 thump. Like, just like they do in New Japan. Just like they do in New Japan. Strong style.
Ah, Tessa! It's gonna be you and me at Slammiversary.
Challenge thrown down.
Please. It's gonna be. She's like completing a sentence. She's like completing someone's thought. That's not how you do a challenge. You know, it's gonna be. That's like, Tessa, I want to fight you at Slammiversary. Like,
Hartwell.
no, she's a racist chance. Very disappointed in you, the TNA universe. Who are these people?
Blanchard at Slammiversary.
Who are those? Is that Dana Brooke and what does she call herself? Is this Dana Brooke? And because I don't recognize Dana Brooke is the most chameleon pro wrestler of all time. Like, I think I recognize her, and then she does something, and then suddenly it's like I don't know who she is. I think she looks like a certain way, and then she shows back up, and it's like no, she looks like something else. Like, is this? Yeah, this is it, right? It's the by elegance. Yeah, that's who these are, right? I don't recognize them. Right, Ash by Elegance. Thank you, Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance. That's her, right? Isn't that her here?
Blanchard at Slammiversary. Will we see it happen?
Will we see it happen? She just said it. It's gonna be you and me at Slammiversary. Why is she laughing? Why is she smiling? Is she enjoying this? That's not a good segment. That's kind of lame. That's kind of lame. In the meantime, you got Dana Brooke in the ring with her. Got Dana Brooke in the ring with her tag team partner. Is that the new kid, Maggie? The new signing that they did. Maggie. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Tickets are gonna fly. This is the big match they needed to fill up the UBS arena now. That's all they were missing. That's all that was missing. Just the big match. All that was missing was just a big match. And now they have it. So it's fine. Don't worry, folks. Everything's under control. How many tickets are they at now? Let's go see the old Wrestle Ticks here for a second. Let's go have a little look-see. Oh, wait, there's an update. Hang on a second. Well, okay, one thing at a time. But there's another update that we should probably take a look at before. And I see your questions, chat. I'm going to get to them in just a second. I just want to make sure. My hometown is having a Monday Night Raw in a couple of weeks on August 11th, in a month. And there's 7,000. They sold 7,500 tickets for this shit. Insane. Fred Moreland, nice to see you and welcome, member of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show channel. Also, Big Man Dogs, nice to see you too. I just want to take a look here. Geez, when's the last update? When was the last? Okay, here it is. Here it is. Let's pull it back up here so we can all gaze upon it together. So this was posted 5 days ago. We're due for an update. We're due for an update regarding Slammiversary at the UBS Arena at this point. 3,122 tickets have been distributed for this venue that contains 16,251. The setup is for 4,229. To be fair, in fairness, now it's been a week and they announced the big main event, right? A week ago, they didn't announce the big main event for Slammiversary, right? Which is going to be Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry versus Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. Boof. So that's probably gonna move some units, right? But yeah, like there's 22 days still left till the show. They're probably going to give it a big old push, you know. They'll probably be hanging around 5,000, maybe a little more. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know who's interested in this. Like, I don't know who's interested in this at the very least. So we'll see in a week if the big main event announcement plus that cracking match of Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell is going to push tons of tickets. We're going to see that soon. But here's a little something here that I think we should take a look at. There's a little update here regarding the Real American Freestyle show, the very first event. You know, Real American Freestyle. Don't you remember? The freestyle wrestling organization put together by Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. Right. No, you know what I'm talking about. 59 days until the show. 410 tickets have been sold in this venue here, the Wolstein Center. I'm assuming it's Wolstein and not Wolstein. I don't know. Wolstein Center at CSU in Cleveland. This venue that seats 13,707 people. We're talking, hey, listen. The one thing that Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan can always find consolation for themselves in is that they will never be as bad. Their attendance will never be as bad as the Kirk and Bloodsport show. That was so embarrassing. No one has ever released the attendance figures for that show. Oh, look, I know everyone is already poking fun at Eric Bischoff, and I don't think it's fair, guys, gals, non-binary pals. I don't think it's fair to be going after Eric Bischoff right now. Clearly, he's playing the promoter game here, and he's keeping his aces up in his sleeve. He is going to strategically drop these aces that he has prepared. He's going to drop them strategically as we keep moving along. We haven't seen the full hand yet. Very unfair. Eric Bischoff, as you may remember, as you may recall, Eric Bischoff, a business genius. I don't know if you know this. He beat WWE in a television ratings war, head to head, for 83 consecutive weeks. Back in the 90s. I don't know if you know this. Make smart decisions. What's the name of his other fucking podcast? Cool decisions, smart decisions, something like that. Wise decisions. I mean, we can't be sitting here and making fun of Eric Bischoff just yet. He is going to turn this around. Next thing you know, Real American Freestyle will be barreling down all of your local venues like a marauding mammoth of freestyle pro wrestling, not pro wrestling, just freestyle wrestling mixed with entrances and lighting. It is not time. It is not time to take swipes. There will be a time. The time is not now. The time is not now. Yeah, right, guys? 83 weeks in a row. Head to head on television with World Wrestling Entertainment, or the WWF it was known as at the time, beating them in a ratings war for 83 consecutive weeks. Only a high-level strategist and with the sharpest business acumen could achieve that type of memorable feat. Yeah, Warren, what else did he do after that? Oh, yeah, we're not talking about that. What do you mean, what else? What do you mean? What else do you need? Sir, this is a wrestling podcast. If we don't make fun of either Punk or Bischoff, they pull your certification. Oh no! They'll pull my... Not again! I mean... What? What do you mean, again? Wait, we need to be certified to do this? What? What? Is Oh, Fred's listening while watching some Dragon Gate. That's a very wise combo. Pretend I'm talking about Shun Skywalker. Trash by elegance. That's actually really good. TNA is a real promotion. They don't let wrestlers book matches. It has to be approved by the TNA committee first, probably headed by Bubba Ray. Thomas Dreamer. And Delirious. What a fucking room. Can you imagine? That's your creative. You got Tommy Dreamer, Bubba Ray Dudley, and fucking Delirious all sitting in the same room. And they're like, so Indy Hartwell versus Tessa Blanchard. Orton's immediate conflict between pity at having to wrestle Indy and knowing Tessa deserves to eat all this shit is priceless. I know, like, it's the struggle that, like, the internal struggle is absolutely real. It's Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong all over again. TNA. Blanchard can't wait to be called into WWE, can she? She's just champing at the bit at this point. She's so excited. 20,000? So they got up to 20,000 AEW for good. That's good news. I really think they're going to hit the 22K. We've got just well, we got about 2 weeks left, right? A little under 2 weeks. It's not this Saturday, it's next Saturday. So less than 2 weeks. And what do I always say? The AEW crowd is a crowd of late ticket buyers. They buy their tickets late. Why? Because the shows don't sell out. And you can always get good deals on the same day of the show. There you go. Warren, as it stands now, are the Death Riders a success? That's a good question. I think the pivot from the Death Riders ended up being successful. Did I say from? I mean, the pivot of the Death Riders ended up being successful. It's been like, if I were to draw a graph, I would start with the Death Riders angle, very high, with the build and then the mysterious non-promos and whatnot, and then the strangling, the suffocation of Bryan Danielson, right? Basically, the murder of Bryan Danielson, and then dropping low, and then coming back up. That's how I think it goes. I think they did a terrible job at first with the Death Riders post Danielson. If we're doing postmortems while the angle is still ongoing, right? I'm on record and I talked about it quite a bit on the reviews and whatnot. The problem with the Death Riders out the gate was that the people that they were trying to stand up to the Death Riders were all geeks. They were all geeks, with the exception maybe of Mark Briscoe, maybe Dan Garcia somewhat, but everyone there, like, there were no like serious contenders. There was no one there that you were like, okay, this is the anchor point. And no disrespect to Orange Cassidy, who I don't think is a geek, but has been treated as one. Like, no one took the opposition seriously, because all the people that you would have thought would have been serious contenders to stand up to the opposition were all busy doing other shit. You know, Swerve and Will and Kenny. Well, Kenny was hurt, but you know what I mean? Like, the top guys, yeah, Johnny Hungy with the nunchucks. I'm like, come on. You know, it's like I know John Silver's gimmick is that, you know, he's a goofball. I get it. But it was hard for the audience to take this seriously when the company clearly didn't take it seriously, right? And Orange Cassidy being the guy to stand up to Mox was not a bad choice, but also was not a good one. And it ended up falling in the middle where your expectation, well, it kind of fell short. Because again, Orange Cassidy is not a guy that anyone perceives as a top guy. They had an opportunity a year previous to turn Orange Cassidy into a top guy, but they didn't. They didn't. He loses his title to Mox, and the very next Dynamite, he's, you know, back eating Cheetos with Hook. I think he's back to scumming around in the lower mid card. So, like, it just didn't work. They tried to do the 4-way, which, you know, they tried with Jay White to make him feel like he was a part of this. And Jay White did everything he could with that situation. It was just not working. Orange Cassidy again, meh. And Page was still in this, was still in heel mode and was focused on his own shit. So he didn't really care, not on the level that he should. And then they do the thing with Adam Copeland, which started off as a complete and utter bust. A complete bust, which they were able to recuperate on that one Dynamite when Jon Moxley had to spear himself with actual, like, 13-inch nails in his back, right? And then you're like, oh, now this has a little juice. And they kept it alive. I can't believe they did Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley for so long before deciding to put the kibosh on that. Like, that to me was just poor booking, and the stories were confusing. But it's really from that point on. It's from the second act of the Mox Copeland feud that really started to turn things for the Death Riders, because they stopped making it be about the soul of AEW and whatever the fuck, right? And have Mox create these grand aspirations, you know, implying that he's doing this for some, I don't remember the term he used, but like a higher power. I know that's not what he said, but there were bigger stakes, bigger people involved. And, you know, that was around the time when Shane McMahon met up with Tony Khan at the airport, and everyone thought, oh, it's going to be Shane, you know, all that, you know, you remember that. And the booking was so slipshod, and everything was still slipshod in AEW at the time. It wasn't great. We got to a point where the Death Riders sort of left behind all the stuff, all the gravitas that they tried to create for it, like an NWO style stable that's supposed to just take over and run roughshod and do whatever they want, and instead just focus on being a really nasty, really violent heel stable. And it worked. As a unit, when they refocused, it worked. So I think from that point on, it has been legitimately successful. I think it's been very good. I can't get behind people who are still pulling their hair out of their head, saying like, it sucks, it's terrible. It doesn't suck anymore. It doesn't suck now. It didn't suck a month ago. It didn't suck 2 months ago. I think the last time it sucked really was in February, which was around the it was the Australia show. You know, it's like I'm glad we've all moved on from that, because I think it was a big detriment. It didn't do it any good, and it turns out I was right. turns out I was right. But I mean, it didn't take a grand genius to realize what was needed to do. They needed to pivot, and they did. And I think it works now. I think, you know, and I think there's still value in keeping the Death Riders around after too, for for Darby and whatnot. There you go. The higher powered Josh Barnett. Yeah, I remember those rumors. There was that one too, right? There was that one rumor going around. I remember reading it and I got a shiver and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I hope not. God, I hope not. But then again, I also kind of hoped as well because Barnett doesn't give a fuck. And then he'd be running angles right and left. Orange and Jay White getting hurt sucked. Garcia got wrecked. Hook went missing and Private Party happened. Only one that got out decent was Briscoe, and that's because Mark Briscoe is tremendous. To be fair, Daniel Garcia has not been well booked at all since he resigned. If you go back and listen to my tape back in the day, I was against him winning the TNT title because I was pro him winning the C2 this year. That didn't happen, obviously. But coming into the C2, and then I was saying, well, if he wins the TNT title, then he's not going to be in the Continental Classic. Because why would you put your brand new TV champion into a tournament where he's going to take some losses? And they fucking did it anyway. The booking was not as solid as it is right now, folks. Don't kid yourselves. Interesting to see that all the heels in All In main card are all heels that get serious online heat that have adjusted to be rather successful heels. Look at Monet. True. But at the same time, I think there's one thing that's really, really, really important when it comes to the heat that Mercedes has online. It's heat with the dumbest people on the fucking planet. Like it's just heat with people who do not understand jack shit about anything. Just as simple as that. When it's down to when it suddenly becomes a thing where Beast Mortos is thrown into a main event angle on a Dynamite and people jump on social media to say that this is Mercedes Monet's fault. Now she's booking her boyfriend into main events. These people don't understand jack shit. They heard about Hulk Hogan back in the day, and now it's suddenly like, oh, it's Mercedes Hogan. They did the same thing with Becky Lynch, Becky Hogan, and all that shit. Like, it's people who don't understand nothing and pretend that they do, without understanding that there's people who are making these decisions, people that are comfortable with Mercedes not losing. Here's the thing, and I legitimately believe this. I believe that decades of Vince McMahon 50-50 booking has successfully poisoned the brain of people, and they do not recognize what a push is. Because everyone has to have a fucking turn. Because now, oh, she's had the title long enough, it's time for her. Oh, he's had this title for so long, and yet this guy, he's been working so hard, it's his turn. Like, people don't understand what pushes are. They don't understand what making stars are anymore. And Vince could not make stars at the end because it was 50-50ing everyone. The only way he and his brain decided to make stars was by pushing someone down your throat, whether you liked it or not. right? So it's a decade of Vince booking that has made people that has now made it so that people can't understand. It breaks their brain when a wrestler becomes dominant. That suddenly it's like it's the worst thing in the world. This match that Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné are going to have it all in would not be as big as it is if Mercedes Moné was booked any other way than her coming in and not losing a fucking singles match in AEW since she's come into the company. It is legitimately the biggest women's match in pro wrestling today because the stars that were built were booked in a way to make that happen. Toni Storm would not be in this spot if she did not have that glorious story that accompanied it with that terrific ending, the Hollywood ending with Mariah May. Some people might say, oh, they're falling into it and it's chance. With the way things are booked right now in AEW, I say this was planned. I'm seeing the plan. I'm looking back. I got my 2020 vision goggles on and I'm like, look, because I always do, because I suffer from myopia. And you look at it and like, this was all in design to bring the biggest possible women's match in North America in 2025, and it's going to happen at All In. It's going to be in AEW. And that, to me, is tremendous. And that's what a push is. This is what Mercedes is going through, is a push. And it's not because she has creative control. It's because the boss has creative control, and the boss laid this plan out more likely than not. And the people that she's winning belts off of, the other promotions and so on and so forth, they're not having their arms twisted. They're not, Tony Khan is not walking into the office like a mob boss, throwing threats around. They're all okay with this. They're all okay with this. She wins the Rev Pro title. She wins the one in fucking Austria. She wins, she's winning all these belts. The CMLL title. CMLL doesn't give a shit about their titles. We've even talked about this. They don't care. Everyone's complicit in this. Everyone's like, sure. Why? Because they see she's being pushed. Because they see a star. Someone that's being treated like a star. They're all complicit in this. And then, look, all due respect to my beloved Kristen, there's dominance and there's holding titles not being defended. Again, the promotions are all okay with this. And here's the other thing. It's all kayfabe. It's all story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If the promotions had a problem with this, then they shouldn't have left her win the titles. They knew what was up. They all understood. And what's happening? Who's benefiting? Mercedes, of course. But the fans are as well. Because we are all going into All In. Here's the big deal. We're all going into All In to watch this match. And none of you know for sure what's going to happen. There's no one here, not even me. Even though I have an idea of where I'd go with this, I could even go both ways. I could go with Tony and I could go with Mercedes. But the drama here is tremendous. The titles, the winning streak, Tony's continued ascension. Like, these are just all of these elements coming together. This is not slapshot booking. This is all by design. So again, the heat that Mercedes gets online for winning, never getting pinned, and so on and so forth, it is all the dumbest people on earth who do not understand anything, who think they know because they've heard the stories about Hulk Hogan, without understanding what Hulk Hogan's contract looked like. And Hulk Hogan's contract in WCW was leaked, and it is online. You can look for it. It's online still to this day. I'm sure there's a Reddit post somewhere that has it squirreled away. It is available to be consulted online. If you want to see what someone who is overpushed and has complete creative control over what they're doing. Because the one thing we can never forget about Hulk Hogan is that he was pushed. He was always pushed as if he was in his prime, even when he was past his prime. And that is always that's the problem with Hulk Hogan. No one was bitching about Hogan getting super pushed when he was in his prime and super over and kept the title for a year or whatnot and had his monster factory, his heel factory, just pumping out dudes for him to defeat. No one was complaining about that. It's later when he's in fucking WCW and he can't go and he's putting on snoozers and everyone hates him. But yet we continue to push him. That was the issue. It's infuriating because we finally have pro wrestling done in a way that is not how Vince does it. And people can't wrap their minds around it because they've been brainwashed by how Vince did it, and now they're convinced that this is the only way to do it. 50-50 booking has ruined people's minds in that regard, and they cannot see what is happening. They cannot see what's happening right now in the fact that there is an actual real deal top woman push. And on top of that, it's a woman. On top of that, it's a woman. The most decorated, protected star in AEW right now is a woman. But no, she's throwing her weight around. Mercedes Hogan. I got no time for that. Hey, 850 Big Boy, nice to see you and welcome to the chat. And DGMC, also nice to see you. Member of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show channel on top of that. What Mandalorian watch party? You're at the wrong place, brother, per usual. They're all Raj Giri who wanted Mercedes to drop the TBS title to Harley Cameron in Australia. And just by saying it's Raj Giri right then and there, you establish anything. Anyway. No, Kristen and I, in this regard, we do not agree, but that's okay. I still love her tremendously, and I'm excited to see her in just a few days. Yes, Raj Giri sent you a nice email once, DGMC. We know this. You know, wrestling is not where it was because there's no fake Mandalorian wrestler. True. Mercedes Hogan using creative control to get Mortos on her TikToks. I know. Destroying the character of the sanctity of the character of Beast Mortos. My God. You know, the titles, like I said, the titles are all, it's all up to, we got it. We shouldn't pretend that that the titles, we shouldn't be more concerned about the titles if the promotions are not that concerned either. If the promotions are not concerned by the titles all that much, I don't know why I'd be more concerned than they are. It's like I said, and we have to keep this in mind. Eventually, she's going to have to lose those titles. There's people that are going to beat her for their titles. Will there be titles that she will just relinquish? Sure. She's not going to defend them all. She's not going to lose them all. Sure. But there are people who are going to beat her for the titles. I would like the Rev Pro title where it was 2 years ago and defended every month. It has always bothered me, Mercedes or not, for an overseas title that leaves the area. Brit girls don't have enough. Now, see, that's an argument that I can get behind. But again, this is something you're bringing up with Andy Quinlan as opposed to Mercedes Moné. Because Andy Quinlan was like, yeah, I'll book this. And he was like, yeah, I'm fine with this. So again, I understand the ire. This makes sense to me, but it's something that's not something you hold against Mercedes. You send an angry letter. You send an angry letter to Andy Quinlan of Rev Pro. Surely Ultimo Dragon was using his creative control to hold 16 different titles at once. As you win. Wait, you mean Ultimo Hogan? That's what you meant to say. One thing I could agree with is that on a broader scale, I think there has been a slight overcorrection when it comes to title reign length in wrestling. I wouldn't mind some short TNT runs. The thing, yes. Also, I think we're obsessed with title reign length in general, because it's a fairly new thing. Everyone thinks because of Bruno Sammartino, world titles, that was the norm back in the day, and it really wasn't. Titles changed hands, and that's why a guy like Ric Flair has 16 world championships or whatever the fuck it is. I don't remember. 15 or 16, whatever. And because, he didn't have these 700-day runs. Not everyone is Roman Reigns is my point. It's we're all obsessed with length. We're all obsessed with length. You can go ahead and clip that. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. Whereas, but I do agree, a television title should be defended more often on television and change hands on TV because it's a TV title. I think the trios titles should change hands every 3 weeks on TV with some great trios matches instead of being fucking guarded like they're, the U.S. supply of gold in Fort Knox. It doesn't make sense to that kind of shit doesn't make sense to me. Book your world title however you want, but book it however you want. But I think we've got an obsession in that regard. Boris, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Mercedes rules. Mercedes rules for snatching JD's House of Glory comms chain. Now that's really funny. Did you all see that tweet? Some dude that works for House of Glory tweeted out basically saying that JD has not been on our 3 previous shows and don't expect them to see him back anytime soon. I mean, look, it's almost as if actions have consequences still in the year of our Lord 2025. Anyway. I don't see her as a real champ until she wins the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal Championship. True. And then loses it to a potted plant or a Snickers bar. That, I agree. That's the one that's missing right now. Why am I the TV champion when this fucking poor ass company doesn't even have TV? Good old Rhino. Okay, like there's legitimately stuff I want to get to before I pop out, because this might be my last stream for a couple of weeks. So I really do want to, good questions, good discussion, and I've been enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but just a couple of things. Maybe we'll try and do this in quick hit manner, a manner of quick hits. Fightful is reporting that those close to AJ Styles claim that he has re-signed a 1-year WWE contract extension. We've reached out to WWE and Styles in an effort to confirm. Good. I don't want him showing up in AW. I don't know why people were so excited about this. I really don't. Again, 2025 AJ Styles, drinking all the protein shakes he can find is not something. I'm not into it. It's not. We're looking at this through very nostalgic glasses, right? I think that outside of a match with Will Ospreay, which I'm convinced Will Ospreay would have and probably has lobbied for and wanted to do. Outside of that match, I don't care about AJ Styles anymore. And in AEW, like, and everyone's like, think of the dream matches. I don't know. Is it because maybe I followed AJ's career? The post TNA era I thought was tremendous. Like the New Japan stuff was great, and and his great run in WWE. And maybe I'm like, you know what? There's a full circle moment here, and I don't know what AJ Styles has to give me anymore. I don't know what he has to provide to me outside of WWE, which is a promotion I don't watch, so I don't see AJ Styles, and it's not something that I feel is missing from my life. Like I don't know what an AJ Styles dream match is. Like, he's got to be pushing 50, right? How old is AJ Styles? He's 48. Like, let's be real here. He's in great shape. He's in better shape than Cena is. You know what I mean? Let's be fucking honest here. The dream match is particularly for Will. I'm sure Will would have loved to mess around with AJ, and knowing Will, he would have probably dug deep and would have got something out of AJ that no one expected to see, because it's fucking Will Ospreay, right? Like AJ Styles and Kenny Omega? No. Besides, I've seen it. And it's fine, it's good. With Swerve, I don't know, maybe. Like, it's not things that are getting me all hot and bothered. AJ Styles versus John Moxley? No. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe? No. Again, been there, done that. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Is it a question of me feeling completely fulfilled by his career? His long and well-documented, super successful wrestling career. Because that's what he had. Am I fulfilled by it as a fan? Sure. Is he? I don't know. Like, that's the whole question. But I think this is a guy who just wants to wrap it up with WWE. Now, the fact that he's re-signed an extension is interesting. Not a full few more years, just an extension. So does that mean that in a year or so, the door will be open again for renegotiations? And how will those renegotiations go? Or is TKO just going to be like, well, what's done is done. Thank you for your service and be on your merry way. Look, we talked about about TKO and their contracts and how I feel it's going to be moving forward. You know, we've talked about this just on the last stream. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that they're like, sure, we'll give you the extension, we'll re-sign the extension, but then when it's time to renegotiate, no, they'll probably, I'd say they're going to try and lowball them and say, well, look, so on and so forth. Won't be that big of an increase. And then next thing you know, he will be asked to, well, it's like, okay, well, we'll let it run out. Because AJ Styles is not going to risk going off doing something goofy, making enemies within WWE by wrestling in AEW or whatever the fuck. He's going to be one of these guys who's going to wait for WWE to call and offer him a Legends contract. You think, like, this is exactly the kind of legend that WWE is desperate to get now. A guy who's fresh in the minds of the modern fan, that they perceive as a legend, and that they can keep around for a couple of decades still, because he's going to be 50, but he'll be around for a couple of decades still. So, it's like, I don't know. Good for him. I wasn't aboard necessarily with the buzz for AJ Styles in AEW. I wasn't into it at all. Maybe not at all. I wasn't into it much. Kind of like, And I was kind of like, well, if they want to sign him, we can see. Maybe I'll be surprised, like with the Hurt Syndicate or something. But I feel like this is a guy who can, teeter that delicate balance that you have in your locker room, right? Anyway. I mean, we'll talk about this, but that 1-year contract extension as opposed to anything longer, that's a tell. It's a tell that we're not done here yet. You know what I mean? There would be a certain kind of poetry if AJ Styles, being the guy who leaves WWE and goes to the secondary US promotion to do minimal effort. Yes, yeah. That would be interesting. AJ being a backstage guy is the best outcome. I don't even know if he wants to do that. Does AJ Styles want to do that? Like I think he wants to go home and play video games on Twitch. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in Street Fighter on MXM's YouTube channel is my AEW dream match for him. Granted. I think SRS said they're planning a retirement run and that's it. Well, good. He should get a little retirement celebration. It's AJ Styles. What are we talking about? Incredible career. I mean, WWE will not hit on all of the beats of an AJ Styles retirement, you know, for the history. They won't hit on all the beats properly. How crucial he was to TNA, how much TNA shat all over him. And at some point, the guy who was the company, who was the backbone of the company, decides to pack up and just go and cut loose in Japan and have tremendous success there. They're not going to hit all these beats. It sounds like he's winding down his career. Sure, I agree. And if that's your plan, then why do you go sign with AEW, where you have to basically start over and, you know, prove yourself to a degree, you know, where you don't get booed by the fans, you don't get rejected by the fans, which is kind of what happened to Cope, you know? You don't want that. His TNA roots are going to keep him from leaving WWE. I don't think he cares. Because everything that was TNA back when he was around, it's completely non-existent. Like, it's completely non-existent anymore. It's just it's not even the same organization. It's like completely different. I don't think it matters to him as much as we believe. WWE handing out retirement tours like their Oprah would be funny. If AJ streams full time, how long till there's a clip of featuring him saying, well, how come I can't say it? Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I got the pass from Ron Killings. Maybe that's something he could say. Ron Killings gave me the pass. TNA AJ was my favorite wrestler as a kid. Hey. 2000s AJ Styles. Special man. That was special as hell. All right, back to the docket. Zack Sabre Jr. a couple of nights ago won the title, the IWGP World Heavyweight title, back again, defeating Hiroki Goto but he did it on a show called Tanahashi Jam, which was not broadcast on New Japan World as most New Japan shows are. This was on a show that aired on broadcast television in Japan. So this was something that was specifically made for TV. And this has caused somewhat of an uproar, at least amongst Western fans. There's been a lot of discussion and concern around, first of all, a sudden title change, one that a lot of people feel doesn't quite make sense, and feel quite weird, especially since it's something that we as Western fans were not privy to be able to watch because it was on broadcast television in Japan. Now, I've got some thoughts, per usual. That's why I'm talking about it. So New Japan, I believe right now, is trying its best to reignite its mainstream appeal so that it can get back on broadcast television, so that it can have once again a show on TV, which hasn't happened in decades at this point. Like, I don't even know when's the last time they've been on TV on a weekly basis. So they had this special, right? Well, it wasn't. It was probably on Abema TV. You know, between that and the signing of Aaron Wolf, who is a crossover star, and then on top of that saying Aaron Wolf's match, his Wrestle Kingdom match, will be broadcast on television, do you kind of smell maybe what's going on here? That maybe New Japan is dipping its toes and doing things for TV where maybe they're gunning to try and get a deal to go back on television, maybe make some money off of that deal. Do you think that might be something they're trying to do? I don't think this is a coincidence. And if this was the plan, right? If this is the plan to, you reach out to a larger audience than you do with your streaming service for sure, then why don't you book a title change then? Like from a basic booking point of view, I feel like it makes a ton of sense. It's just like, well, look, go on TV, have a big title change, a surprise one that's going to get people talking, among hardcore fans. Maybe casuals watching will be like, oh, look at that. We got a big world title change right here on TV. I look at it from that point of view, and I'm like, and I kind of think it's interesting. I think there's a bit of a longer game that we might not be seeing right now that's being played by New Japan, saying we need to get back on TV. We need to license out what we do to a TV station that will pay for the rights to put us on TV so we can make a little more money, because New Japan is not rolling in cash right now, folks. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if you needed to hear this. New Japan's not flush for cash these days. So by doing this and signing Aaron Wolf and announcing that Aaron Wolf's match, his Wrestle Kingdom match, was going to be broadcast on television, like, these are all big deals. And from us over here in the West and our little streaming service, we're like, I couldn't get to see it. But this was not made for us. That's how we sound like, by the way. It was not for us. It was clearly not for us. This show was made for the Japanese audience, for the local audience. Now, aside from that, was this good? No. Like from a creative storyline angle stuff, no. This is not good. This was not good. I haven't watched Tanahashi Jam yet. I'm going to try and get around to it. I've heard that the Goto Sabre match was tremendous, that it was much better than the one that they had at I don't remember which strong show they did, which New Japan USA show it was. I don't remember. But I do want to watch the show. But this connects with stuff that we've been talking about here on the channel, where invariably this change is nonsensical and apparently was part of the plan. I have heard that this was all part of the plan. Hiroki Goto injured right now, but they didn't take the title off of Goto because he was injured and then had to take some time off to heal. He got injured in the match. So he wasn't injured going into the match and then they decided to drop the title. He got injured in the match. So the plan, from what I've been told, the plan was for Hiroki Goto to drop the title back to Zack, which is baffling to me. And no disrespect to Zack Sabre Jr. I am probably on the higher end of people who enjoyed Zack Sabre Jr.'s run as world champion from an output standpoint. But I also loved Hiroki Goto's run for the output, but also for the vibe, the feeling that came along with it. That, you know, how he was embraced by the audience. And I have right now, the booking in New Japan is so preposterous and makes so little sense. I don't know what the fuck Gato is doing. And I have strayed from this discourse for a while because I always feel like this is the kind of stuff that comes back to bite you and whatnot. And I especially strayed away from it because I thought the New Japan shows at the start of the year were tremendous. I thought, Wrestle Kingdom was so, but I thought Wrestle Dynasty was good. I thought the New Beginning was such a great fucking show. I was so pumped after that show. But the booking is preposterous right now. So, you know, if Gedo is still in control, because the more I keep my ear to the ground, the more I'm hearing that, there's a couple of people involved, right? Whoever's in control, whether it's Gedo, whether it's a group, I think it's time for a change. I think, like, if I'm Hiroshi Tanahashi, I'm circulating things. I'm just moving seats around and I'm trying to find something else. Because, honest to God, I don't know what it's going to take for this creative slump, which is let me try. I wanted to say three things at once here. There's a creative slump in New Japan right now, and I think it's undeniable. And I think coming back, but I think the creative slump, that what makes it doubly egregious is that it's a creative slump that we've been through. We've sat through this with Focus on the House of Torture, with focusing on the older guys and not trying to elevate your new guys, not trying to create an ace in the company, right? One of the young lads to bring things forward. We've been in this spot before. I feel like 2 years ago was particularly bad. Last year, we were trying stuff out, but you could feel there wasn't any true confidence. There wasn't a real move to push the young guys and maybe try to create a new generation of stars that the fucking fans have been asking Gedo to do for the past 4 or 5 years at this point. Right? Remember that 2 years ago, 2 G1s, they put all of the young guys. They put all the young guys into one same block, right? They even threw Kaito Kiyomiya into that one block, along with Sonata. And Sonata beat every one of them. Sonata won, I think, like he had one loss in the entire block, and he beat everyone. Like, what the fuck? And now we're doing this again. Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't have the smell, the stench of being one of the old guys because he just broke through the ceiling. Still recently, right? It hasn't been a full year since his ascension. So he doesn't feel like, a Tetsuya Naito, a Hiroshi Tanahashi, one of the old standards. But nonetheless, he's also like, he's a tremendous wrestler, but I think he's not all that of it. He's not an overall success when it comes to being a world champion for the company. He didn't create this huge movement in business and whatnot. The fans like him. They didn't like him as much as they did Goto. Goto brought people into the buildings. I don't know why we didn't just stick with that for a little bit longer. I don't know what's going to happen in this G1 where we absolutely had to pivot the title away from Hiroki Goto before going into the G1. Because the title is not... The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship is very likely not going to be defended until September now. Or very late August. So who cares who has the title during the tournament? But we're really at this point. We're really at this point, again, where I do not understand what this booking is about. I don't know what Gedo and his merry men are trying to do. But we're not pushing any of the guys. And you know, I have very little faith right now. My faith is a little shook right now. It got shook with the refocus on the House of Torture, and now this, I'm like, I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand what's going on. I have no clue what's going on. And if, God forbid, we're heading towards a Shota Umino Zack Sabre Jr. rematch, I will find where these people are, and I will sneakily tie the laces of their sneakers together so that when they stand up to walk, they fall flat on their faces. It is hard being... Oh, I thought you meant Gedo. But it's hard to be a Gedo fan. He's making it really, really difficult. Hey, Dan Reed of what am I? Dan Reed of Pro Wrestling Eve. How you doing? Isn't Goto hurt? Yes, he is, but he got hurt in that match. He got hurt in the match. He didn't go into the match hurt. The plan was always for Goto to drop the title to Zack Sabre Jr. here, which again is so. Because don't like the House of Torture thing is a complete. I don't understand. I know I talked about this on the Dominion review, but I'm going to mention it here again just for posterity's sake, for the sake of posterity. About time we wrap up here, I think, folks. The problem, or the thing that's fascinating about the House of Torture getting back on its feet like that is last year when Hiroshi Tanahashi took over and talked about his 10-point plan. You remember that? The 10-point plan that he had laid out? Of all the changes he wanted to bring to New Japan? One of them was, reducing interference, whatnot. He didn't outright mention the House of Torture, but he said, like, we're going to reduce, I'm paraphrasing, we're going to reduce interference in the ring because it's turning fans off and they're not excited about it. He didn't say House of Torture, but you knew what he was talking about. And now a year later, not only are we back to giving House of Torture a big role in the company, but we made them even stronger. We added members. There's new members to the House of Torture now. The group is bigger and stronger than ever. Are we heading towards a Wrestle Kingdom main event with Evil this year? We just might. So, if we want to do an executive summary of my thoughts here, I understand, I can see why New Japan wanted to do this on a broadcast television event. I also think that this might start to seem as some kind of sign where they're dipping their waters back on TV to maybe try and make themselves interesting for a potential TV deal. So all of this stuff makes sense to me. So I understand that when you weigh in the stuff with Aaron Wolf, you're kind of like, they're probably making a mainstream play here. I get it. Okay. But god damn, in the meantime, this shit sucks. This is really, really bad. And it's bad because we have been down this road frequently, yearly. And every year we think it's going to be different, but it's not. Last year, we thought it was the time for the young guys to shine in the G1. Well, we sort of ate crumbs on that one, didn't we? Is Konosuke Takeshita going to come in to save everything? Maybe that's the savior. Maybe that's our man. Konosuke Takeshita runs in, saves us all, saves New Japan. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's how I feel about it all. That's how I feel about it all. I think they are boosting House of Torture to have Tsuji go through them. The crowd always goes nuts when Tsuji beats those goobers. If I get Yota Tsuji in New Japan, if I get the Yota Tsuji that I saw in CMLL last week in New Japan, or 2 weeks ago in New Japan, I won't have an issue with that. But, you know, typical humdrum New Japan Tsuji, I'm like, where's the fire? But then he shows up in CMLL, wrestles fucking Ultimo Guerrero, and he has one of my favorite matches of the week and of the month. Spoiler for the June list. He has one of my favorite matches of the month. I'm like, I want more of that Yota Tsuji in New Japan. I want the CMLL. I want Yota, not Yota Tsuji. I want Yota. Aaron Wolf versus Bob Sapp for Wrestle Kingdom 20 main event. Let's go. What's Bob Sapp up to? How old is he now? He's got to be like 70. Oh, he's only 51. He could still go. I'll play devil's advocate and say New Japan needed a heel group that isn't all foreigners, and House of Torture was already there, so why not save time? So there's a difference. I know you're playing devil's advocate, and sure, okay, I'll give you that. But there's also a way to do it where you're not destroying the matches that are happening. You know, it's like I often say, I have a certain tolerance for nonsense, as long as it doesn't interfere in the quality of the match you're watching, right? Which was an early complaint that I had about the Timeless Tony Storm gimmick, where Tony would stop having good matches to throw her shoes around and do nonsense with Luther that would take me out of the match. That would just deconstruct the match into, you know, nonsense. Especially when it comes to Tony Storm, who is a great wrestler. I'm like, why is she doing this? Why isn't she doing what she does best? Now she struck the balance. Now she has the good balance. She's perfect between the gimmick and the work. No complaints. I can't imagine there couldn't be a way to do a heel unit without fucking interference all the time and foreign objects, or excuse me, international objects. You know. Maybe the 10-point plan was a work. Apparently they have much better food now at the shows. I thought Meltzer said something about Goto not actually being hurt. I've got the news right here. I don't know what to say. I didn't hear Meltzer saying that Goto was not exactly. I haven't heard that Goto was not really hurt. So, and I don't know, when it comes to New Japan scoops these days, I'm not sure about Dave. I don't know where he gets his news. I don't think he has all that many sources anymore. All I wanted this year was Goto versus Shibata for the belt at Forbidden Door, but fuck me, right? Fuck us all. That would have been grandiose, honestly. But life is hard. How long has Gedo been booking? Gedo's been booking for easily a decade at this point, right? Even earlier than that. Like he's basically been credited with the golden age of New Japan in the mid 2010s. So it's basically all him. There's a couple of other people that I hear are involved. I've heard Toru Yano's name being thrown around. Another guy. And Liger books the juniors. That's what I understand. It popped me when Western fan said, "Why did you change the title when nobody could see it?" Yeah, exactly. It was on TV. It was just, it's fine. I hope it's the Papa rating and not to Hotshot for Forbidden Door. Apparently, this was the plan. I didn't see anyone say that it was a Hotshot. That was Hotshot booking. It sure comes across that way, but from what I understand, it was not. That's not the intent, nor was it the plan. Dick Togo is part of the creative. Not as much as people think, from what I hear. I think, I guess you'd say, like, even if it's not exactly that, he's maybe more of a producer, but it's not the same way. Like, I'm trying to draw a comparison, but he has input. He has Gedo's ear. They're buddies, But from what I understand, like, he's not really on the booking team. That makes sense. New Japan has never recovered from the belt redesign. It's been a curse. It's been a curse. Life is hard, be harder, indeed. Wise words. A lot of bad faith podcast people say that this is a Tony move for Forbidden Door. I would say a lot of New Japan fans say this is, look, love yourself. Find yourself someone who loves you as much as a New Japan fan hates Tony Khan. A Western New Japan fan. Yes, Ghetto's ear to influence part of creative. No wonder why we get so much house to torture. Well, here's one thing that we always have to keep in mind is that Gato loves his American wrestling. He loves American wrestling. He always has. He fucking loves Memphis, okay? And that right there should be your biggest alarm bell. You'd be like, oh, now things make sense. Big Memphis guy. I don't know if Zack Sabre Jr. in AEW would be a good get. It's curious, right? I don't know either. I don't think Zack is ready for that regardless. I don't think he wants that just yet. He might want the money one day, but Zack's a different kind of cat. Warren Hayes, thoughts on Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander at TNA Slammiversary in the UBS Arena? The spirit of 205 Live lives on. The heart of 205 Live versus the soul of 205 Live. Wasn't that their spots? Wasn't that what they were called? The heart, yeah. The spirit of 205 Live lives on, brother. What a card that'll tear down the house. I predict Zack Sabre Jr. would get slotted around the Mike Bailey spot. Yeah, they'd probably push him a little higher because he'll come with a significant pedigree, and I think Tony's sensitive to that. That'd be my guess. Muto called this style of wrestling fighting entertainment or something like that. Oh, brother. Keiji Muto. There's another guy. Wouldn't take Ghetto as a Memphis guy the way he wears his headband. You'd think he'd be a big Conan fan. Oh no, man, trust me. Big Memphis guy. That should explain a lot from the get-go. Well, there you have it, folks. We're gonna wrap this one up. This final stream for a couple of weeks as I head on over to the United States, make my way to Texas. I'm also going to be stopping in at Buc-ee's as we leave Arlington. Buc-ee's is like 3/4 of an hour away from downtown Arlington. And we're making that trip. We are absolutely going to Buc-ee's. So, you know, I'll take some pictures. I'll do some goofy shit. Very excited to see. I'm very excited to see the next evolution in the world of gas stations. I'm very excited for that. And I'm buying a hat. Like, I'm buying a Buc-ee's hat. Like, I'm not going to Buc-ee's and not buying a hat. Go to the Dallas Costco. It's the biggest in America. I fucking hate Costco. I don't even go to the Costco in my hometown. It can kick rocks. I hate Costco. Hug the Beaver. Is that innuendo? Warren, are you doing a video diary or vlog of All In? No, I'm not. You know, I've talked about this, but this is a vacation for me. I'm not going to work. I'm not creating content. You know, it's a gift that my kids gave me for my birthday this year. I'm just going to enjoy it. I haven't seen Kristen since before my operation. So it's been a fucking while. So I'm going to spend as much quality time with her as I can. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to do, doesn't mean I'm not going to take pictures. I might do maybe a little quickie video reel type of thing, but like I'm not doing like vlogs. I'm not forcing myself to create content. So if I ever do content, you'll know that it comes from a place of love, because I'll be like, hey, I got to do something here. Like maybe I'll do something when we stop at the Buddy Holly crash site memorial, because that is absolutely a location on our way that we're stopping at. When I go to Truckhenge, which is a Stonehenge but made out of old pickup trucks, maybe I'll do something there if I feel inspired. You never know. But like I'm not gonna be running around looking for people, looking for collabs, trying to talk to wrestlers. Like I'm not. I want to go watch a fucking wrestling show. I've never been to Texas. I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy the small amount of time I'll be in Texas. If we get to Arlington early enough, maybe we'll go see if we can get into the Ring of Honor show. Slip the guy $40 to let us in, kind of thing. Oh, you needed the deluxe pass. Yeah, here's $40 because you've got like 600 seats that aren't filled up. Kind of thing. We're going to see the TJPW show the next day before leaving. Get to see Shoko live. That I'm excited for. So yeah, it's like, but yeah, again, like I said at the start of the show, subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll know what's going on because I'll do community posts. Follow me on Blue Sky. That's another way to make sure that you don't miss anything. And join the Mr. Warren Hayes Show Discord. Link is in the description. That way, everything will be covered. Everything will be fine. Make sure, if you join the Discord, make sure you join the Mr. Warren Hayes Show channel. There's a channel just for that. So make sure you jump in there. And that's where I'll keep people posted. Throw things around. I'll be around. But I need to... Like this, it's going to be my first trip since the big event last year, so I'm kind of looking forward to just unplugging a little bit too. Can I have the password for your channel? No, thank you for asking though. Very bold of you to ask. There you go. Like I said, just follow me on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Blue Sky, join the Discord, whichever way. If you want to make sure that you don't miss anything, it's legitimately the best way to ensure you're not missing anything. And we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. I definitely will not be streaming on Monday because I will be in an aeroplane Monday evening. I will very likely not be streaming on Tuesday. My plans are not fake. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Go watch some Randy Orton and get back to me. I'll see you next time.